Morning. Welcome to day 4. It's a misty, cloudy, overcast day, and feeling alright. Woke up feeling very sleepy. Really didn't want to get out of bed for some reason. And I think maybe it was because I woke up in the morning for work from my alarm out of a real stressful dream, like an emotionally distressing dream, and I'm not really sure where that was coming from. My dreams have been odd lately, so since I'm not 100% sure what to talk about today, maybe we'll talk about dreams and maybe our thoughts around dreams and just the internalization of different thoughts and ideas and behaviors, because that is one thing I've been dealing with, is sort of repressed aspects of myself. Haven't been doing the practice yet, but I've been learning about shadow work, and that's been at the forefront of my mind a little bit when it comes to things that I feel and things that I do that might be coming from a place of repression. So we'll see, and I'll look forward to talking more with you in just a little while. Check back in soon, all right? First stop down. Hey, taking a little break and figured I'd take the moment to chat a little bit. Not going to be as long of a talk today because, quite frankly, I just don't have as much to say. I have been having some thoughts, though, that I wanted to share and wanted to get out into the world, out of my head. So we'll chat a little bit. I've been having a lot of weird dreams, and I've also been dealing with sort of some unwanted thoughts, which that's common, but I guess what I'm specifically talking about is things that I'm trying to repress. As someone who's formerly, I guess I shouldn't say formerly, who has dealt with porn addiction and is currently, for the past few years, sober and healthy, but it's a practice you got to keep up. As someone coming from that mindset, I have a lot of shame around my mind when it comes to sexual desires, when it comes to certain inclinations. The shame still kind of sticks around. I still have this sense of shame around my sexuality as a whole, I think, where despite the fact that I've reached a much healthier point in my life and in my sexual life, I still kind of deal with these thoughts on a daily basis that I'm ashamed of. I'm ashamed of the fact that I think about sex so much. I'm ashamed of the fact that I go to that thought as a distraction from anything, really. It's the first thing that my mind goes to when it can. To be quite honest, like, I get up in the morning, I probably think about it. I start my work day, I'm thinking about it, And so there's this hypersexuality that still exists within me that I guess I'm ashamed of still, because I don't want to be a perv. I don't want to be a sex fiend. And I think part of it that gets me frustrated and makes me feel bad about it is that it doesn't necessarily translate into my regular healthy sex life. Like, I can't have sex 500 times a day, or want to have sex 500 times a day, but I think about it that much. You know what I mean? So it's a weird dichotomy between acting out the desires and having them, if that makes any sense. I think about things that at times I wonder if anyone would even want to really carry that out with me. I mean, I have a wonderful girlfriend who fulfills a lot of these things for me and is open and sexual and really wonderful in that regard, but I have a hard time asking for the things I might want, or even have a hard time enjoying the things I do ask for, because as soon as it's in play, I feel ashamed that I wanted it, or I feel bad that I'm asking someone else to fulfill a fantasy, or you know what I mean? Like, I just have this shame around it. So I'm trying to work through that, because I need to remember and give myself credit for the fact that I used to be down in the dumps with pornography and with sexual fantasies, and I've made really big strides. And now it's time to shed more of that shame, because I have shed a lot of it. The fact that I can even discuss these things is leaps and bounds and miles beyond where I used to be. So I have made progress really in every regard, and I have to remind myself of that when I get down in these moments. But, you know, always looking forward to improving as much as I can and being a better version of myself, you know, tomorrow, next week, next month, and then next year than I am now. Eventually, you know, you're just grinding your wheels, and, you know, you have to come to a point where you're satisfied with yourself and not always looking towards that better version of yourself. But right now, I still think for my own enjoyment of life, and especially the enjoyment of my sex life, I have to stop repressing myself. But I find it hard to bring a balance between not repressing thoughts and desires, but also not acting them out, because there's certain things that aren't appropriate to act out. There's certain ideas and fantasies that I don't think are morally sound and I wouldn't want to engage in. So how do you not repress certain ideas but also not act them out? I haven't figured that out yet, so maybe in a future video I'll be explaining how I did it. But for now, it's just a process that I'm working on. And the reason I bring that up is because I mentioned my dreams, and I've been having some distressing dreams in a variety of different ways. Last night I had one that was just like a long, nasty argument with my father, which is weird because me and my dad have a great relationship, and we never really argue. We did when I was a kid a lot, but now the past 8+ years, it's been nothing but smooth sailing, and he's really mellowed out and I've really mellowed out, and I don't hold any grudges against him, truthfully. I mean, we never had a bad relationship growing up. We just butted heads sometimes. So I'm not sure where those types of ideas come from, and those things happen to me from time to time, where I have dreams about distressing interactions with people that I love, and I wonder if it's coming from a place of repression as well, because what's bubbling that up inside me? And I've had a few sexual dreams too, where I'm engaging in some type of act that in the dream I'm like, no, this isn't right, I shouldn't be doing this, blah blah blah. And then sometimes I wake up before it happens. Sometimes I don't go through with it in the dream. Sometimes I do go through it in the dream. And then I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, thank the Lord that was a dream. And again, it's just a curiosity about my mind and where these ideas are coming from. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to stunt myself by repressing ideas and thoughts and desires. I'd hope to be able to integrate them in a healthy way, which is really what the shadow work is about. And I've been learning about it, but I haven't figured out exactly how to put it into practice or how to make it a part of my routine. Right now, I've been focused on meditation. I've been focused on reading more. I've been focused on minimizing stimulation and distractions throughout my days. And all those things have been very impactful. So I'm wary of adding too many things in at once and overwhelming myself with something that should be bringing me a greater sense of peace. So as the time goes on, and maybe as some of my current practices become more habitual and less effort as an intention each day, I'll be able to add in shadow work, and we can talk about that later. But in any case, not much insight from me today, just a discussion about where my head's been at and a curiosity about where my thoughts will lead me next. But in any case, I appreciate you for listening. I appreciate you being here to chat with, and I'm going to get back to my route, and I'll check in with you in a little while. So, just made my last stop of the day. It's been a pretty good day. The rain came in for the last couple hours, but nothing too crazy. So, smooth day overall. Glad we got to talk about a couple different topics. I'm definitely feeling like this has been very helpful for me to have a space similar to therapy, I guess, where I can just talk about things. And maybe nobody's going to hear it, but maybe somebody's going to hear it. Either way, I get my thoughts out of my head and I get my feelings up to the surface and expressed. So altogether, it's been, so far, just a few days in, a really good experience. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to do this, for a platform to put it on in case somebody out there, oh, sorry, my light just went out back, but in case somebody out there can see it and benefit from it, and even if nobody can, it benefits me, and I'm grateful for that. So thank you to anyone who sees this, and I'm going to call it a day for the video here. I appreciate this job that allows me to do something a little extra, like record and yammer on. And we'll get back at you tomorrow with some more. Thanks, everyone. Good night.